Hi, everybody. Welcome to Behavioral Psychology here at Colorado Christian University. In this video, we're going to be going over a few key terms that come up when we are talking about the establishment of new behaviors. So we'll just be reviewing a few main ideas and terms. Remember that establishing new behavior is an important part of behavioral intervention. Behavioral intervention work is not solely to remove problem behaviors or decrease their frequency, but sometimes involves teaching a whole new behavior that somebody has not learned before and then reinforcing and supporting the development of that behavior. So in this video, we'll be going over a few terms, including prompting and stimulus control, which are closely related, chaining, shaping, and fading. And all of these terms are related to teaching and learning new behaviors. So first, the idea of prompting is involving stimulus. There's a stimulus or an event used to bring about the occurrence of the desired or the target behavior in a situation. So two different types of prompts. We might have a response prompt, which involves the behavior of another person, bringing about the desired behavior in the person who's receiving the intervention, or stimulus prompts. So this is changing, adding, removing, increasing, decreasing something in the environment or in the situation to make the desired response more likely. Stimulus control, by the way, to review, involves increasing or decreasing the likelihood of a behavior occurring by introducing a stimulus. So a good example of this is a stoplight, a red light, is the stimulus introduced that will increase the likelihood that a person will stop his or her vehicle. And we definitely hope that they do. But stopping the vehicle is the behavior, and the stimulus being introduced is the red light. When we think about response prompting, this has to do with the actions of another person outside who's helping with the intervention. So a verbal prompt would be exactly what you would assume it is. It's a person telling somebody to do the target desired behavior. So saying to a child, pick up each toy, place it in the box. That's a verbal prompt. It's telling them what to do very directly and succinctly. Gestural prompt is going to be something more nonverbal. So you might move your eyes to focus on the correct card if you're trying to help somebody select that card. That's the example provided in the text. Modeling prompt is demonstrating the targeted behavior yourself. So you're really modeling what you want that person to do. You might be showing them how to swing the bat and hit the ball accurately. That's the example in the text. And then physical prompts involve hand over hand or some kind of physical support to teach a person a new behavior. So an example later in this slideshow would be helping somebody to relearn the skill of walking. An older person, after having had a fall, may need to relearn that skill of walking. So a physical prompt might involve really supporting that person's gait and reminding them how to do the walking behavior correctly and safely. Stimulus prompts, the other type of prompting, stimulus prompting, involves changing a stimulus to increase the likelihood of the correct response. So we may have within stimulus prompts or extra stimulus prompts. Within stimulus prompt is going to make it more likely that you will do the right thing or the correct behavior through changing something, changing the incoming stimulus. So the example for the baseball would be throwing that pitch very slowly and in a direct manner, making it more likely that the person will hit the ball. And hitting the ball accurately is the targeted behavior. So that would be a within stimulus prompt. An extra stimulus prompt would be something else provided to make it more likely that the targeted behavior occurs accurately and successfully. So you could draw a line where the person should stand to swing and hit the ball. You might also consider bowling and putting barriers up on the side when you're at the bowling alley to keep the ball where it needs to go. It's this kind of concept, adding that outside variable to make it more likely that the targeted behavior will occur. The next term that we will review is chaining. Keep in mind that a behavioral chain is what we call a complex behavior that has many smaller behaviors included. Most of the things that we do in our daily lives are behavioral chains. if you think about making a sandwich, we can break down a behavioral chain and teach step by step, starting small, and breaking down that chain is task analysis. That's what that means. So if we're thinking about making that sandwich, we can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, and we can break down that behavioral chain into smaller steps through task analysis. And once we've done that, eventually the idea is that the person will perform that behavioral chain independently without any physical or verbal prompting, and that the chaining approach has been successful in teaching a person a new behavior. The third term, shaping, has to do with the development of a behavior that a person does not yet exhibit. For instance, we think about a young child learning to talk. There's going to be a lot of approximation. There are a lot of attempts at saying words that are not right on target yet, but we're still going to reinforce those attempts. So we're providing praise for something that's close. After reinforcing that attempt, we might continue to shape the targeted behavior by modeling and then repeating the way that the word truly should be pronounced. And doing that each time that the child makes an attempt or there's an approximation of the behavior. Building on that success, reinforcing the approximation, and then providing more modeling and prompting for additional success closer to meeting the targeted behavior. Finally, fading is a concept that has to do with removing the prompts that we've provided, because we're always looking for independent mastery of that skill. So if we're thinking about teaching an older person to walk again, we may be providing physical or verbal prompts at first to support their gait. But then as we're seeing that progress and the person's ability to walk independently increasing, the person's retention while learning the skill increasing, we're going to want to reduce and remove that physical prompting and then the verbal prompting, and we're fading out the prompts. And eventually the person will be able to walk independently, ideally without being asked or directed to do so, and will be motivated by the helpfulness of walking to meet needs. So that's going to be the ideal target behavior. Fading out prompts to support the person in completing the task or in demonstrating the behavior independently. Those are the terms that we're going to review here in this session. So keep them in mind. You will be using them in some of your assignments. So it's going to be important to have mastery of these skills. As always, please reach out if you need any kind of support or clarification. God bless you.